it's Matt Decker with Wealth Architects Radio. So glad that you joined me here. I put this video together and it's just going to be real short, real informal, mainly because I find so many of the videos online about financial planning and money advice just so incredibly boring. So I have put together several of these videos on things like life insurance, annuities, financial planning. This one, though, is going to focus specifically on Roth IRA conversions. And the reason that I'm doing this is because it dovetails into a lot of what we do at Wealth Architects with Medicare planning. And if you want to know more about Medicare planning, I will link that in the description below this video, or I'll put a little call out to it. We've done a bunch of articles on Medicare planning, and you should absolutely take a look at those. And you may be here because that some of those posts actually reference this topic of Roth IRA conversion. So what we like to do when it comes to IRAs is get as much money as possible out of your IRA and into a more tax favorable vehicle like a Roth IRA. Now, the backstory is that up until recently, a lot of people actually couldn't do, it's called a backdoor Roth conversion, where you take an IRA and you convert it into a Roth IRA. A lot of people couldn't do that. In fact, the IRS would not let you do that if you made more than $100,000 up until recently. They lifted those caps, they lifted those limits, and now anybody can take advantage of what's called a backdoor Roth IRA. And so it's one of our favorite tools with our clients because it does so many things, not least of which is helps reduce Medicare expenses in a big way. So we are a huge proponent of Roth IRA conversions or Roth conversions from traditional IRAs. But there's a couple of things that we watch out for. So if you go online and you type in like Roth IRA conversion calculator or anything like that, you're going to find just some really simple calculators that really don't do a good job of showing you exactly whether or not a conversion is going to be helpful or not. And the reason that they don't do a good job is because typically what you're going to find is, let's say you have a $500,000 IRA and you say, hey, show me what it would look like if I converted this to a Roth. When you do that, you have to pay the taxes. Okay, so that's the first consideration. You still do have to pay the taxes. You pay them all right then and there, and then they funnel into the Roth, and then it's tax-free for the rest of your life. And so most of these calculators, they're way too simplistic because what they assume is that you're an idiot and that your financial planner is an idiot. And you take a $500,000 IRA and you immediately transfer all of it into a Roth. Well, if you do that, someone on your team, on your side, in your corner is not using their brain. Because very rarely is taking a $500,000 and converting it all at one time going to be beneficial. Because when you take that $500,000 and flip it over to a Roth, all of it counts towards income. And if you know anything about our income tax brackets and how they're progressive taxes, the more money that you make, the more money you recognize, the higher your tax rate goes. So that's not good. So what I've put up on here is just the 2018 tax brackets. So you can see, let's say that you're an individual that is married and I don't know, you're making $80,000 a year on average, so you're in the 22% tax bracket. Well, if you decide willy-nilly that you're going to just take your $500,000 IRA and flip it over to a Roth, that's an extra $500,000 in income that you're going to have to recognize. So your tax bracket isn't 22% anymore. It jacks all the way up to the 35% tax bracket because your $500,000 plus your 80, that's your 35% tax bracket now. So that's just stupid. You should not do that. We are a huge proponent of Roth IRA conversions. And what we will like to do and what we typically do with our clients is first we find out what tax bracket they're in and what their adjusted gross income is going to be. And then what we'll do is we will only convert enough of the IRA to get them bumping up to the next tax bracket. So if you're that individual that's making $80,000 a year and you're married filing jointly, you're in the 22% tax bracket. So with any conversion that we want to do, we want to make sure we keep you in the 22% tax bracket. And it's not that hard to do. It just requires some basic arithmetic. We know that you can recognize up to $165,000 of adjusted gross income. So if you're currently taking home 80, we know that we've got $85,000 that we can convert to a Roth in that 1 year, keep you in the same tax bracket. and then you will have alleviated taxes on that money for the rest of your life. So that does a couple things. I'll just recap them real quick, and then we'll call this video to a close because this is a relatively simple video. So the things that you can expect to kind of achieve or avoid when you're doing a Roth IRA conversion. Number one, it makes it a whole heck of a lot easier to help you plan for Medicare, because Medicare expenses are means tested, meaning the more income you have, the more you pay for Medicare. So if you've got a huge IRA sitting out there, all of the money coming out of your IRA in retirement is income. And if it's too much income, they're going to charge you more for Medicare, a whole heck of a lot more. So you have to be careful of that. If you can convert that money into a Roth earlier in life, then you can potentially avoid that means tested surcharge that Medicare likes to slap as many people as possible with, okay? So that's the first thing. It can help reduce your Medicare expenses if you do that. The second thing is we have no idea what tax rates are going to be in the future. And realistically, we're actually in a fairly low effective tax environment. If you go back just 30, 40 years, taxes, the top marginal rate was up 80, 90%. Crazy high. So if you look at the history of tax rates in this country specifically, we're actually at a relatively low level of taxation. So since we don't know what taxes are going to be in the future, if we can keep you in a 22% tax bracket, it could make sense to pay those now and never have to pay them again. The last thing that it's going to do is it's not going to force you to take money out in retirement. With your traditional IRA or your 401k or 403b or TSP, there's a lot of them out there. All those accounts are going to force you to start taking money out at 70 and a half. Whether you need to or not, it's forced taxation. The government needs the taxes on that account. So if you keep it in qualified status, not only does it have the potential to jack up your Medicare premiums, not only do you potentially pay a higher tax rate, but you will also be forced to start withdrawing that money once you hit 70 and a half. So for people that maybe want to leave money to their kids, and they know they want to leave money to their kids, that a lot of people don't like that. They don't want to withdraw the funds and get taxed on it just to have to reinvest it somewhere else. So we are a huge proponent of Roth IRA conversions, but you just have to be smart about it. You just got to think about it. If you go online and look at a calculator that looks at Roth IRA conversions, it's probably just going to do a very simple calculation of, hey, what's it going to look like if you convert your entire IRA into a Roth right now? Nobody does that. So we do partial Roth IRA conversions. It can be a great benefit to your portfolio. The big one that we really love it for is that it can reduce that surcharge on your Medicare due to the Medicare means testing and those IRMA brackets. So I hope that helps. I hope I made it real simple for you. Crystallize it, shrunk it down. It is a relatively simple, straightforward concept, but just make sure that you're doing it the right way, that you're working with somebody that understands how to do Roth conversions. And if you have any questions, throw me a line, matt@architectsradio.com. You can check out all of our other blog articles at architectsradio.com, and I look forward to seeing you later. Take care. Hey, Matt Decker with Wealth Architects Radio. Real quick, if you're one of those people that just loves to take action on things, you see a problem, you see a solution, and you want to take action, the next thing that you can do right now is book a discovery call below this video. My real-time calendar availability is right there, and those 30-minute discovery calls are for you to ask any questions that you may have about any of the plans that we offer, whether it's the Medicare cost reduction plan, whether it's the perfect financial plan, or the portfolio analysis. That's your time to ask me any questions, feel me out, see if I'm a good fit for you, and I encourage you to do that now. Go down below, book that discovery call, and let's start a conversation. Talk to you soon.